I thought this was going to be a very simple video, but it ended up being a lot more than I thought it was going to be. So we got the christening of the carb, the teardown of the engine, a whole bunch of bolt removal. So we're going to focus on how to get the exhaust bolts out. I know we've gone through this already, but we'll do it again, and I'll go into a little bit more detail because this thing sucks. Okay guys, what's up? Welcome back. We are going to christen the 350Z project. Previous owner had Fairlady Z on the back. I think it typically normally says like 350Z or whatever, but he put Fairlady Z. So we're going to be kind of undoing the project, and we're not going to turn it into a traditional 350Z or a Fairlady as they're commonly known as. We're going to make this project the unfair lady. Unfair lady because she's taking all your money all the time and doesn't appreciate it. So let's get started on this. Something like that. And we're going to figure out how to peel adhesive. So there you have it. Once we can get this off. See if this comes off. I'll have to clean the adhesive a little bit, but there we have it. The unfair lady. So another use for this little bore scope. I can show you guys inside the head intake ports here. Just got a bunch of junk inside there. This one's got a bunch of junk in it too. It's just like a bunch of leaves and stuff you would typically find that fell into the intake when you pull the intake off. So what I got here is I'm just going to use a shop vac with like a 1/2 inch piece of just aluminum tubing on it, and I'm just going to go in there and vacuum it out. I'm just going to double check and make sure everything's out. Yeah, everything looks a little more on that one. That one needs to be done again, but this is a little concerning. This is a rock. There was a rock inside of that intake port, so that's interesting. But we can use the bore scope and go inside all the cylinders and check and see what we have. I guess turn it over real slow. Kind of crappy. Alright guys, I'm going to show you a little trick here. This isn't really like rocket science, but these things, I always have a pain. I have a pain. Oh, now that one's going to pop off. I always have trouble getting these things off of here. Sometimes they're really freaking hard to get off, just pulling on them. So one thing I like to do is just, you're not pushing all the way in on the plug, but it's just enough to kind of grab it and pop it out. That's what I do. I don't know if that's going to help anybody. Maybe not, but that's what I do because they're freaking hard to get off. And sometimes you pull on them so hard and you end up slipping and you pull the wire out and wreck the wire. These wires are really old anyways, but they're usually still good. So that's what I do. I'll just go through the process. Get it all undid. We'll undoodle it. Oh, that's right. There's more than I normally put in from the factory. They feel like they need to put 8 bolts in here. So we're going to try our best here to get these off. I have a feeling most of them are not going to come off, or they're going to break. So I want to say these are supposed to be a 10, but they're rusted down. That's a 9 that I'm putting on there. I thought they had 2 sizes, a 10 and a 13, I thought, but we're gonna try. We're gonna try to crack this pig and not break it off. Or we'll just break it off and then we'll have to get it out with the welder. Yeah, that's just rounding completely off. This is, yeah. We'll try different size. So that's a 5/16. It's probably just gonna round it right off again. We'll try to trust the old jack handle and see if we can persuade it a little bit. All right. Hammer on the 5/16 and use the jack handle. That's standard procedure right there. So the guy said that this was a 2001 with 140,000 miles on it. Looks a little weathered for 150, but I guess it depends what kind of vehicle it was. He said it was like a farm truck or something. I don't know. I don't really care that much, I guess. Oh, and I can't believe that actually came off. So let's see if we can do it again. I'll save you guys the agony. I was able to get this one with a 3/8. This one snapped off. Completely snapped. So those always suck because when they break off, the head breaks off actually in the socket. And then you can't get it out. So this one's coming. The other two on the other side, I think I might just have to cut those off because they're so rounded from trying different stuff. And I even had a 5/16 smashed on there, and that's like quite a few sizes smaller than normal. So before I get it all the way up to the end, I'm going to rock the wrench until I can actually get the thing off. Because if I get the bolt all the way out, it's still stuck in the socket, then I just got to fight a different battle. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do it. Oh, I should be able to get it out by hand. Now I'll work on getting them other two out. Then we're gonna be a treat though. Let's just see what happens with the 3/8. Yeah, so that one like is way too small now. Boom. Boom boom. Yeah, he likes making car noises now. So see how this one's same size as what I just pulled this bolt out with, and this one is like so small because it's all rusted out that it just like spins on here. So I might try the 5/16. Might try the 5/16, but I don't know if I'm gonna get it. Boom, boom. I gotta say, guys, when I was looking for the cutoff wheel to cut these bolts out, I was looking for the wheel because the one on my grinder was broken. And they were on the bench up here somewhere. But at the time, like, this was so messy and everything was messy, I could not find the cutoff wheels. So I got so pissed off that I just started cleaning everything and ended up spending like 10 hours doing my whole garage. And like, this was loaded with crap underneath. I got rid of everything underneath there, cleaned everything, pulled everything out, cleaned off the bench, actually like brushed everything off with a brush, got rid of a bunch of stuff, and then set up all these things. So I had these little things, but they were all busted and broken, and they just are not very good. I don't like them. So my wife is a wonderful human being and thinking of me most of the time. So she picked up a bunch of these freaking little red boxes, and look how sweet these boxes are. And this is just a designated 10 mil socket box, but these things are awesome. So I can take this thing and pull this thing out, put it back in, switch it around. Still got to secure it to the wall, but decided to finally set these things up. Found these for $1 a piece, so that's pretty cool. It didn't cost much, but really helped me organize everything. So I have like an automotive row. If you look at everything, it's like AN fittings, fuel line, vacuum line fittings, sensors. So I have like map sensors and coolant sensors and junk in there. AC Delco spark plugs, NGKTR6 spark plugs, and then just a bunch of junk. Hose clamps, decapped injectors. And this one is all like electronics up here. So I have 2 things of relays, 2 things of the harnesses that go to the relay, fittings and fuses, big terminals, heat shrink tubing, all different sizes, bunch of different stuff. So this one we have 1/4 by 20 bolts, washers, nuts, 5/16 bolts, washers, nuts, 3/8 bolts, washers, nuts, and 1/2 inch bolts, 1/2 inch bolts, washers, nuts. I can't talk. I don't know what I'm going to do on the top. I think I want to do like metric sizes, just like this row. Metric up on the top, but this is kind of just like, you know, random big washers, leg bolts, and some other metric junk. But that's kind of cool. Really helped me clean up a lot of stuff, and I like it. I'm leaving this out because this is for the truck. 4-inch V-band and a little slitter McShitter right there. That's going to go on the truck, but just wanted to show you guys that. I spent a lot of time doing this and not working on this, but I'm really happy with this. So one of the reasons I wanted to clean this off is because I always work on the floor. I spend so much time working on the floor, but it's probably because my bench is so freaking dirty all the time. So I wanted to clean that up, clean the floor up, clean this so I have some room to work, and hopefully that makes more sense. Alright, let's try to do this all in one clip. Fumbled a little bit on the start there. So I usually don't like to do it until it stops glowing red. You do it when it's still glowing red, I feel like it's still too soft and it just breaks off easy. And it'll allow a little bit more time for the heat to soak into the head. Alright, so we're going to get a little technical here. Watch as I start to lift up, the wrench twists and then pops free right there. So we'll watch this really slow. I'm lifting up on it and it's actually twisting. It's twisting the metal, but it's not twisting the bolt. And then right there, it pops free and the bolt actually starts to turn. Right there. So they feel the same, but there's definitely a difference between the nut turning on top of the bolt and the bolt actually turning with the nut. They feel the same, but if you just yank on the thing before the bolt starts to turn, you're just going to snap the nut off. You do it too early, you can feel it like the metal, like it's just bending. You can feel like the difference between the metal just bending or it actually coming out. You know you're going to snap it off. There it is. Simple as that. But like this one here, this one's gonna be a bastard because it's probably 1/8 of an inch inside the head. So I've done those before, but it's not fun. All right, so I'm gonna kind of zoom in a little bit on this. And you'll see that I'm normally holding the nut off to the side. I like to hold the nut off to the side because I can start welding on the actual stud and fill this whole thing as a gap, and it's really easy to get the filler in there and secure to the nut. Sometimes if you try to do, you try to center it, it'll just touch the top part, so your bead will actually be just around the surface and it snaps off real easy. So what I like to do is snap it off to the side, and what I did is I actually beveled this side a little bit on both of these, so we'll do that. So that one I had a little puddle starting to drip, so I was just trying to pull it back up before it hardens. Otherwise, if you go too far out, you can't actually get your tool on there. There we go. So there again, you can see, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but it was starting to bend a little bit. And you can hear it and see it twisting the metal. And then the bolt actually broke free. So if I would have did it, trying to take that off with it still glowing, it would have just broke it right off. So this is what I'm dealing with on this one. There's two of these that are like this, and the bolt is snapped off way inside the head, so we're gonna figure that out. I have gotten them out like this before with the welding method. It's just quite a bit of a bitch because the aluminum starts to melt away as you're welding, and it actually kind of messes up the threads and stuff. So you can kind of back this piece out a little bit, and then it catches on the aluminum shit that was melted in there. So let's try it, see if we can get them out. We're gonna try to weld washer on, but what I want to do is weld very, very deep. Very deep. Very deep penetration is what you need. Deep penetration is good. Everyone likes it. Accidentally welded my fucking pliers. Whoops. So we're gonna let that cool, and what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna weld a nut on there, and we'll try to get it off. So now I'm gonna go really slow, and I'm gonna try to just go back and forth. That's gonna come right off. It's gonna come right off. All right, so what I think I'm gonna try to weld little bit more to the washer on the outside of the nut. So I don't want to be here all night doing this shit. There you go, boys. Look at that. First try. First try. So that was like probably at least a 1/16, almost an 1/8 inch in to the head. Very deep. Washer nut. Weld the outside of the nut, drop the wrench, pick it back up, and came out first try. I've had these before that were the same way that have taken me like 13 or 14 tries to get it out, and that came right out. So now my luck for the year is used up. I'm going to try to do the same with this one. I'm going to use this Dremel bit in a drill and clean this out first. Just want to try to get a good surface to weld to. Yeah, and all these accessories are still in the way, so it might be kind of tough, but we'll try to do the same thing. Hopefully we can get lucky and we'll do it again. I'm going to try a little smaller nut because I'm out of the other nuts. So I'm going to try the same size washer, and then I'm actually going to do a smaller nut, which I kind of want to test anyways, just to see, because there's a lot more of the washer showing. It's almost like a flange head then if you welded it. So I'm going to try that and see how it goes. Alright, so we got the washer welded on. I didn't weld the needle nose to it that time, but I welded it together. Good thing this is the $1.99 Harbor Freight unit here. $1.99, I don't even know if it was that much, to be honest. I think it was cheaper than that. It was $1 something. Now we're gonna run some on the outside. Alright, so we'll try to leave it on there, but we want to leave enough of the hex to actually get the wrench on there. If you weld too much, go too crazy, then you might not be able to get this on there. Look at that. I barely even have enough to get the frickin' wrench on there. And the wrench is actually sliding off, but it's turning out. Yeah, buddy. So this was the worst I've seen so far for broken off bolts, but it was probably the easiest to deal with. Would you just look at it? Look at it, just look at it. Right there. So I think we'll go ahead and start getting these accessories off. If you guys are wondering why, I have this disconnected now, but before, if you're wondering why I had the engine on the stand and the hoist at the same time, it's because I have kids. So I'm always paranoid that something is gonna break and fall, so it's just an extra safety measure. Kids are in bed now, so I took it off. But while I have them running around the garage with me, I always have this thing, or I like to have it, hooked up to the stand and the hoist, just in case something happens. Because you just never know where the kids will be standing. So let's get this thing off. Holy ape sandwich. This thing's gonna make a fool out of me. Probably going to be better at it than I am. One down there, there's probably one on the bottom. This should snap itself loose. And I should be able to get the whole belt off. I always say should. Pro tip, guys, always say should. Some of these little guys are pretty tight. Grab a 10 quick. gotta spoil myself with that drawer. This is a drawer full of 10 mils. I'm probably gonna be using that a lot more than I think. I wanted it as like a spare drawer, but I'll probably be going there all the time. All right, guys, that's how you make a mess and throw a bunch of stuff on the floor. Cool. So I'm gonna record this too, just in case we get some fancy result out of this. Alright, so we got the engine pretty much all cleaned up now, a whole big mess on the floor. This is honestly where I wanted to get it yesterday, but with the issues with the bolts, the manifold bolts, and just wanting to get it cleaned and losing my mind and deciding to clean the garage, this is where we're at today. So this is where we're at. I'm glad this thing came with the original mounts because I'm probably going to modify these. I like to modify these because the bolt pattern is the same. It's perfect, and we just add metal to it and make it work. So that's probably what I'm going to do. Also, I got a box in the mail today. It says A21 A-hole, and it's a DNA motoring box. But honestly, it's not a DNA motoring box. It's an oil pan. I didn't open it up yet, but you can see as I push on it, it's the oil pan shape. So a subscriber sent me this, Cooper, so thank you. You are amazing. Sent me this for free, no shipping. I offered to pay shipping. He was like, no man, I'll cover it. So this is awesome. Sent me the oil pan, and I want to practice, like I said, on that pan. I think he saw that video when I said I wanted to practice on that. I was like, hey bro, I got a pan for you. And he sent me this thing, so that is amazing. This is probably the pan I'm going to actually use to put in the car. I want to practice on this one, and then I'll probably do the final modifications to this, so I have a good pan and didn't cost me anything. So that is going to be amazing, and thank you so much, Cooper. That's it for this one, guys. Thanks for watching. Share it with your friends. Share it. Just please do it. Just send it to some people and make them watch it. If they don't watch it, tell them you don't like them.